Hey, what's up? Arvin here. Today we're going to be drawing the Hyundai IONIQ 5 electric car. So, let's get it on. Alright, so now before we even start sketching this car, let's just talk about the design in general, because I gotta tell you, Hyundai is, I don't know if anyone else has been noticing, but Hyundai has been crushing their designs. By far, these guys have been taking a lot of chances out there, and they are creating styling that I don't think I've seen since Audi. I think Audi used to be doing really incredible designs way back from the 2000s all the way up till 2010, 2015. But when you think about what Hyundai has done in the last 20 years and how they've spearheaded from, or they've come from creating like these Frankenstein looking cars with a very confused aesthetic to really owning their own aesthetic and doing something completely unique and on their own. And they went from really becoming followers to leaders in the design community. At least I think so. This is just kind of my opinion. So let's just talk about this. This is the IONIQ 5. It's an electric vehicle. And one thing that you can notice is if you look at the general styling here, is that everything here, all these design elements here that you can see, they're all like really chiseled. Right from the sharp edges here, the sharp edges here, you've got these nice corners that are coming in, and then you've got a very slight crease character line that's going right through the side facing of the vehicle. And everything is just super tight. I mean, from the headlamps and through here, you've got all these cut sharp edges, which again, we probably didn't even see some of this stuff, this kind of styling, until retro styling was very popular. The edge design that was happening back in the late 90s and early 2000s, because Audi was doing that too, right? The Audi TT was having this edge styling, and it kind of faded off after a while. And now it's kind of, with electronic vehicle or electric cars, that futuristic look is now coming into light with using that styling cue of the hard edges. That's giving it a real futuristic look. So everything that you see here, from the sharp edges here, even around the wheel well, these small little slight details, they're not obnoxious, they're like really subtle. And that's what I love about this car. But everything is super chiseled, and it's just gorgeous to look at. And so if you want to really look at vehicles that are, in my opinion, that are really crushing it in terms of styling and aesthetic and creating something completely new, and I think really ahead of its time, Hyundai, Kia are just crushing it out there right now. I mean, they're just doing an amazing job. And from what I understand, even the performance of these vehicles are just outstanding. So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and sketch this car up. Now wait, don't forget, if you're driven to draw cool cars and learning about transportation design and how to improve your overall sketching abilities, give me some love and smash that subscribe button right now. I'm going to start with the side view. I'm just going to lay out the proportions here. And what's really unique about this vehicle is that I originally thought that this was a car, but it's not. It's actually an SUV, which is also something that's quite unique about this vehicle. I would have never expected that, but when you look at the pictures, proportionally it just looks like a sedan, or looks like just a normal hatchback. But that's not what it's classified as. It's actually classified as a compact SUV. And the performance apparently is outstanding. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. It's got quite a bit of pep in the engine. It's better than my F30 BMW. I might have to trade up, you never know. So this, what I'm doing here is I'm using a software called Krita, and I'm trying to replicate what I typically do in an analog format, which is to use a gray marker, which is about 60%. I use the broad side of the tip, and then I just sketch. I just lightly sketch out what the proportions are first, and then I'm going to come back in with my pencil, and then I'm going to tighten everything up. So this kind of allows me to lay things down loosely, just to make sure that I've got things in the right orientation, and then I've got things mapped out dimensionally before I come in with my pencil. So now I'm using just a pencil tool, and I'm going to try to just use very clean strokes here. And so one thing when I start to sketch, I'm using a draw through method, which allows me to just create one big stroke and then just intersect those stroke lines with the shapes that are defining the components in the vehicle. Now I gotta tell you that circles are a struggle with my digital tablet. I mean, I'm drawn on my screen, but my screen is somewhat vertical or just at an angle, so it's funny, you know, when you're using a pencil or something, just having the tactile feel and just the friction of the paper actually helps you for drawing those circles and making them a little bit more accurate than something that's so totally smooth. So I'll end up correcting it a little bit as I start to tighten the sketch. So what we're doing here is I'm just starting to add the details, the cut lines, and I'm going to just define the shape of the door and how the shape transitions and changes into those chamfered areas. So that side of the door, there is a surface change with that triangular shape, that nice edge design. And then I'm going to come back in the window, just add a little bit more value here on the rear window, which is tinted. I'll be drawing some more intersecting lines. And this takes some practice. If you're not able to create clean lines, you have to repetitively draw straight lines and curved lines and draw pages and pages and pages till you develop the motor skill for it. But I love this draw through method. I'm intersecting the lines and then creating the shapes off of it is in itself an aesthetic in itself. It adds to the drawing. It gives the drawing a little bit of some dynamics and gives it an appearance of movement even though it's still. Now I'm going to put in the wheel hub. This is a little challenging because these spokes are not easy, so I'm just going to lay things in here. I'm not trying to be perfectly accurate because I'm just trying to get this with some speed, and with the speed I'm going to be sacrificing some accuracy here, so I'll just lay that in. Then I'm going to go back to the window. I'm going to add a reflection. So this is reflection from the environment. It can be trees, bushes, whatever. So that's going to reflect off of the glass. And I'm going to add a little bit of value here at the bottom and around the wheel well. Now as I'm looking at this drawing, I can see I've made a little bit of a mistake as I drew this freehand. So that rear wheel is sitting up a little too high, so I'll end up correcting that here in a bit. And that's the other advantage of digital. You can just select it and then move it down. It's no big deal. And of course you don't have to erase. I mean, you can. You'll get a cleaner look when you're doing something like that digitally. Now, one thing that's really fun to notice when you start to study design and styling with these vehicles is that you'll notice that a lot of these lines, they have a purpose, they have a direction. Even the bottom of the vehicle here, when you look at the lines, they go at a single angle, and then they intersect to the other side. So there's some continuity in keeping things consistent. There's a nice rhythm to it. Even the triangular shapes that you have, it's a repetitive shape, which gives you rhythm for this vehicle. It's just part of the theme. So all these hard edges, you got the triangular hard shape here on the side facing, and then you've got a similar shape right underneath it that is trapezoidal. So they keep this common theme. It's pretty cool. I'm going to add a little bit more here for the reflections, just a little bit more detailing. And now let's just fix that rear wheel. So I'm coming back, I'm going to select it and bring that down just a little bit, not a huge amount. And then I got to go back and erase those lines and just redraw them so that they're sort of connecting and keep the continuity of that diagonal line that's going through from the side to the back. I'm just going to add a little bit more value here. And this is pretty much it. I'm just going to finish the sketch off with a little bit of details here. I hope you enjoyed this episode on drawing this IONIQ 5 by Hyundai. Once again, I gotta reiterate, it is such a cool design. I love it. So if you have any other questions or comments, please comment below, or if you have any other requests on what drawings you'd like to see, let me know. Place a comment, let's get a discussion going, and we'll see you next time on Driven to Draw. Happy drawing!